Here, I have Plastidiezel, a diesel alternative I made from plastic waste. And what we have beside me here, we have two Ford 1997 F-250 Power Stroke 7.3s. And we're going to put my Plastidiezel diesel alternative made from plastic waste inside of the first ever F-250 to run off of plastic waste in Chicago, baby. And we're going to do a side-by-side comparison to see how real diesel does versus my diesel inside of this truck. So Tony, let's go ahead and get this diesel in here. Shot myself.
I got it. Tell us what he's doing.
All right. Plastidiezel is inside of the pail, and we're gonna hook up the fuel hose to it.
He ran the diesel or the truck out of diesel.
Yes, it's out of diesel. It's gonna take a minute to start.
All right, everybody, make our way back to the front. If you want to support my mission to take sunlight and turn sunlight into fuel made from plastic waste, you can go to my GoFundMe here. We're looking to raise $16,000 to get all the solar equipment I need. All right, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Hey, look, I gotta ask, do you guys think it's gonna run?
Yeah. We know it's gonna run.
That's why all right, Tony, hit it.
You gotta get in the system first.
Yeah. Give it a minute.
You gotta get in the engine.
Let's do it.
All right, I was in a toxic relationship before, right? Where I felt like I was strong enough to take us where we needed to be. I spoke to the person, I let them know what my goals were, the plans on getting there. And that person said they wanted to do the same. It was all for it. And in that situation, there were red flags that popped up. But I was willing to work through them, as long as they was willing to work through them. And they was telling me that they was willing to work through it. So, I gave it a shot. We went for it. We gave it a good shot. We gave it a good effort. But ultimately, that person could not overcome the challenges that they had personally. And because of that, all the energy we were putting forth to grow was being siphoned and drained, and it was getting us nowhere. That reflects what we have going on right now in terms of as a community, except the other person made it clear they don't care nothing about your goals, but you still want to be in a relationship with them, and you're expecting to grow and thrive while working with them. As a community, if we had separated ourselves like we were supposed to do, the second these people let us know that we were not welcome and that we would not be treated equally, we would not be respected, that they did not have our best interests in mind, we would be organized, we would have our own land, our own independence, self-sustainable communities. We would be in a position, everybody would have a strong sense of community within each other. So when this brother right here came up with his invention, an invention that the people that we're partnered with will not appreciate at all. I don't know if y'all heard the story so far, but they definitely have been attacking him, trying to get him out of the way, trying to claim what trying to do. He got his battles ahead of him because he's operating within a community that does not appreciate what he is doing. Turning plastic waste into fuel is a good way to eliminate that in a less harmful way to the environment. Had we been organized as a community and he had been a part of that, had we not been a part of this matrix, as a community, we would be able to use this invention to generate wealth for our people, because we're surrounded by people that don't really care about doing right by the environment. And so we would literally be able to charge them to give us their plastic while we use it for fuel. That would have generated quite a bit of wealth for the whole community. And now, there's no telling what's going to become of this situation. What he just did could have benefited his whole community. Now it's probably just going to be reduced to benefiting him, because the ones at the head of that community he's operating in don't want it. And there may be groups of them that do want it. And maybe that's how he'll benefit from it. But this should have been way bigger of a thing than it really is. Had we been organized as a community under our own operations, this would have generated wealth that would have reached the world. This would have put our community out there as leading towards positive change globally. A very big thing, right? And it would have shown how well organized we are, demanding respect for what we are capable of producing. Then, on a Pan-African stage, if here in America we are organized like we're supposed to be, No matter how many different communities we divide into, because we're going to have to divide into smaller communities because so many different mindsets exist within our community. We would have to divide, separate based on people's morals, principles, ideology. We would have to separate in that sense in order for us to be as productive as possible while healing from generational curses and all type of stuff. Separating into smaller groups allows people to focus on their shared issues. Recognize their shared flaws based on their combined mindset. Their similar mindset. They're able to recognize their combined flaws and work on that in their smaller communities. But overall, we would still be operating under the Pan-Africanism mindset. And this will allow us to be organized properly, growing in a more positive direction. But again, had we been in that situation and this brother here was a part of that, came up with this invention, this would shed light on our capabilities as American Africans. And we would be able to spread this information. He still can, right? He still can take this to Africans all over the world to benefit from. And this would put us in the leading position towards a positive change. Well, it would send us in that direction, right? Of leading in positive global change for a healthy environment, a healthy world. That's a good look. To know that this is the type of people we're producing, but we're not organized to benefit from it because we are so convinced that this toxic relationship we are in, we're so convinced that we will ultimately be able to carry forth while in this toxic relationship. Now, had it been on an individual basis where you're literally in a toxic relationship with another human being, another individual, most of y'all would be clear on what you would need to do, that you would need to separate from that person. But for some reason, you're not carrying that same mindset as a community. And that's because that's because the people that do not carry that same mindset, in my opinion, their mind is corrupted. They are willing to make sacrifices of their own people for their own success. They don't care about the future of their children for real. Because if they did, they would understand that abandoning their own people to align themselves with toxic people is bad for their lineage in the long term. They would understand that. And a lot of them do understand that, but a lot of them don't care. I took my daughter to the doctor. More and more people are aware that doctors are nothing but drug dealers in this system. They don't care nothing about you for real. A lot of doctors have came out and exposed the system as that. and refuse to be a part of the system because of that. So what does that mean about the ones that are still in there? You go to them, they still trying to convince you their way is the best way. When everybody knows or are finding out that that's not the case. They're working with a system that is clearly not trustworthy. And so if they align themselves with that type of a system, clearly they're not trustworthy. Clearly they're letting you know that they don't have your best interests. But yeah, very great thing this brother here is doing. Sadly, I don't see community benefited from it. I don't see the world benefiting from it as it would had we been operating as a community. Because as a community, we would be able to spread this. We would have we would be organized enough to spread this to all Africans all over the world, and thus making it a global thing that other people would follow. But in the situation that we're currently in, 9 times out of 10, it's just going to be swept under the rug. He may make a little money from it. It may be going on quietly. People may be utilizing it quietly here or there. But within that system, I don't see it getting too much shine, too much light as it should.